Hello everyone, this is Teddy Keckstedt from Forex Trading Unlocked, and we are here for a Forex trading and cryptocurrency trading analysis for November 1st through the 5th. Can you believe it's already November? Alright, before we get into it, let's just put up our disclaimer here to remind you that this webinar is for illustrative and educational purposes only. Alright, we also want to remind you about our book, High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns, available on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle versions. And if you want to check it out, you can also go to our website, forex-trading-unlocked.com, where we also have more information about it. And also, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel or our Twitch channel, Forex Trading Unlocked, please do so. Okay, we have the forex-trading-unlocked.com website pulled up here, and we are going to take a look at what is going on in the Forex markets first. So we have from the navigation bar our workstation tab pulled up, and let's go and start and look at some of the numbers. Okay, alright, so for November 1st, let's look at retail sales for Germany. That's going to be big for the euro. We have car sales and truck sales for the US. That'll be big for the US dollar. Manufacturing PMI also US dollar. That's a big thing also for the Canadian dollar. So a lot of economic numbers coming out in the midst of also a 3-month bill auction. We also have, let's see, on Tuesday, CPI for the Swiss. Swiss has been making some moves. We're going to be talking about that today. We have labor for and some numbers for Australian dollar that will be big on the 2nd. Then we have on the 3rd, let's see, what do we have on the 3rd? We have a composite PMI for the UK. That'll be big for the British pound, US dollar. Unemployment rate for the euro, US dollar. That will be big. Then we have, let's see, durable goods. We have factory orders and also the oil numbers on Wednesday in the US. All big numbers for us. Let's see. Then we have PMI for Japanese yen also on Wednesday. Thursday we have consumer goods and manufacturing. They'll affect Germany and also the EU. Then we also have the producer prices for the EU also coming out that day. Bank of England has some stuff coming out also, so that the British pound might see some action also that overnight. Then we have initial jobless claims going on Thursday in the U.S. That'll be a big deal to watch. And then we have on Friday, we have the big numbers coming out. We have industrial production in Germany. That's a big number to watch. Then we have for the we have employment number for Canada. We also have the employment number for the U.S. These are all big numbers that are going to be a big deal playing in the markets this week. All right, so we have the euro US dollar already pulled up here. Okay, so if you are out there watching us, if you wouldn't mind doing so, if you haven't subscribed already to our YouTube or Twitch channel, whichever one you're watching, please do so. And also, if you can give us a nice little like and a little share, that we would appreciate that too while we're airing this video. So if you could do that, we would definitely appreciate that. All right, so we have the euro US dollar that is up here. And what can we say about this? Well, we had a big sell-off on Friday, so there was a lot of a grinding kind of week until Thursday. We had a big rally that popped us up to new move highs, and then what happens? This market got slapped right back down. So what are we going to do with this one? Well, right now we are looking for yet a return to the upside. Reason being is that we had the big move. We did have a big failure on Friday, but that was after making a higher move high. So we set a higher move high and a higher move low. So we're going to take this initial low that we were using from a week and a half ago and raise it to Friday's low. Anything below here, this market is back on edge and bearish. However, right now we are looking for a little bit of a digestion and a slow creeping rally up towards this previous higher move high that was made last week around $16.96. So we'll see how things manifest. It's early on Sunday afternoon. Asian markets are just coming online. European markets still have hours to go yet before any of this happens. Okay, so we have the euro US dollar. Let's see if we have any questions. We have a couple people watching on YouTube already, and we have a few people on Twitch as well. No questions going on yet. Okay, well that is fine. All right, now let's go on to the British pound US dollar. So the British pound US dollar also sold off on Friday. However, this was coming off of a lower move high and made a lower move low. So we're still looking at for this market that it may correct down towards this 135.73 to 136.22 area. If we spike down here, it's a good chance that we're going to find a support base and either just trade neutral and grind up in this area where it's been trading for the past basically month and a half, 2 months, or we may get a monster rally that can actually take out this downward sloping resistance line, keeping the trend intact. And if we breach 138.39, that is our takeoff point. If we can get above there, that confirms strength in the British pound US dollar. We are overall not bearish the pound versus the dollar. We're just kind of neutral. There's a lot of things that are offsetting it, interest rates being one. We are expecting a currency trade war to break out over the next 1 to 4 months between all the central banks. It will start to get crazy with how markets will swing. Right now, though, with oil being higher, we have to watch that. If oil continues to trade higher, and especially if it gets above $90 a barrel, it's going to be very hard for the British pound to sell off versus the dollar. So the stronger crude gets and the more it gets towards 100 and above 100, which has been our price target since January, since January 20th, since the executive order was placed. So that's our first stop. Where we might see some digestion. We're expecting that. We'll see a lot of volatility as we hit into that level, because it will for sure be affecting more and more about the inflationary issues that are going on across the globe, and especially in the United States. So for you bears out there, this is about the extent of a failure down to 135.73. And for you bulls out there, we are still looking for, if we get above $1.38.39, all bets are off. This market did stamp a lower move low, but we're coming off a lower move high. So that's the big thing, is that we've been stepping down, a lower move low, a lower move high, a lower move low. The question is, are we going to set a higher move low and then a higher move high? So that is our big question as far as direction. So maybe as crude goes higher, we have a good chance of going this way into December. And if for some reason should crude actually pull back, that would help to keep the bears really happy and probably have the British pound US dollar come around this area as we trade into November and towards December. Okay, so now let's look at the US dollar Swiss. The US dollar Swiss had a very interesting little buy signal here on Friday. So we had a piercing line buy signal. This is a high probable Japanese candlestick pattern. Another thing is that we came into this buy zone here between 90.94 and 91.46. So are we overall bullish this market? Not necessarily. Are we really, really bullish? But I think right now we have seen the bottom of this downside correction. We came just short of this lower target area here. Like I said, Friday, this is a buy signal. If we get a follow-through rally and it goes into Monday's close, into Tuesday's trading, then that's a pretty good confirmation that this area here has become a good solid support base, and that we should have a good opportunity to get back up towards this 92.5, 93 even area in the Swiss US dollar Swiss. Now remember, we had this little area over here. Here was our shoulder, and here was our head. Let's fix this. Okay, and then we have one more. Okay, so as you can see, we had our shoulder, head, shoulder, our head and shoulders. We had taken out this neckline. We had a nice little sell-off into our downside target range, which also was support for the market before. Very good chance that we are going to bottom here. Now, if you're an aggressive bear, I would say then, okay, just use caution here. If we get above this last swing high here, lower swing high, odds are if we get above 92.26, you're on the wrong side if you're short. So for aggressive bears, I would use this as a very, very strong risk level as far as where you want to be short against this. Now, as far as buying it right now, you have a very low risk buy here because Friday was the buy signal. So we're just above the close from that area. So you can get in at a pretty decent spot. Now, as far as how far do we look for the US dollar Swiss to go? Well, let's say we get the breakout. Then I would say that we should get up to somewhere right into here. Okay, so this little area right here, I'm going to draw this with a little ellipse. So it starts there, and this is our range. Now notice how we have this critical swing high here. Taking out that would definitely have a good chance of getting us into this upper resistance area. As far as if we're going to run into a lot of downward pressure, this would be our first selling area. We'll see what happens. Right now, though, we have a good chance at getting from where we're trading at 91.59, a full dollar rally up to 92.59, somewhere in there. So as far as a risk for a low risk buy, 91.03 versus 59, you're risking 50 pips to basically make 110. So somewhere in that area. On the very minimalist for a short-term bullish trade. Okay, so right now we have no questions on Twitch or on YouTube, do we? No, we just have a couple viewers out there. All right, hello everyone. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you had a good weekend. Hey, while I'm going through this, put something out in the chat and let me know what you guys are trading, what you're bullish, what you're bearish on, and if you got any questions for at the end after we finish the cryptos, I'll look at any specific markets that you want me to do. All right. So we have the U.S. dollar Swiss. We've wrapped up that one. Now let's go to the U.S. dollar JPY. So speaking of that oil trade, and look at this bad boy. By the way, we have, for compliance, we'll let you know that yes, we are along the U.S. dollar Swiss and the U.S. dollar yen. We had taken some heat on the yen trade because we've had this on for a while. We've been long since the 111 area and 110 area. We're staying long all the way up to 116, 122. That's our long-term objective. 116, though, we had by Christmas. It looks like we can do it by Thanksgiving, maybe even sooner. And 122, I think, would be very reachable now by the end of January, maybe even the end of this year. Reason being is the price of oil. If oil continues to escalate, there's a really good chance that U.S. dollar yen will have a good chance of making easily up between the 116 as it weighs up to 122. There's a lot of other factors that would help drive this trend, but if oil does get above 90 bucks a barrel and if it hits near 100, I can't see how the U.S. dollar yen would not be up around above 116 for sure. Now, if we have a correction going on here, since we have made this high, we're looking for a higher move low. If we want to press this correction down into this 111.74 as our extreme, I think you're going to have a lot of support between 112.76 and 113.22. I believe it'll be a grind in here before we make another run up through resistance. I don't think you're going to see much more of a correction, but don't be surprised if we go sideways with all these numbers for the rest of for the next couple sessions. So we may not take out 113.22, but we may not get above 114.77 until the end of the week. I don't know. But we could also see an accelerated rally if we see oil up, say, like $1 tomorrow, and especially if it starts pushing above $90 a barrel or more. You get a really big rally that way, then I would say that you will probably see the U.S. dollar yen trading above 115 even before the Monday session is over tomorrow. So yeah, we are very bullish on the U.S. dollar yen. Let's see if we got anybody liking that one. Okay, no one's chiming in on the U.S. dollar yen. I'm surprised. I know a certain person who's definitely not watching yet, but they'll be watching this later on the repeat. So anyhow, U.S. dollar yen, there are target zones, remember, for a correction no more than a 111.74 up to 112.76. This one handle dollar range is about where we see the extreme. Now we do have this tight slope, really steep slope that's holding the trend intact in the short run. But that's because we have the big run up in oil, and unless that sees a pull back, like if we see oil get back below 80, down especially below $75 a barrel, then you could see the U.S. dollar yen correct maybe back down towards this 111, even down to 110 half back in this area. I really don't see that happening though. All right, Australian dollar, U.S. dollar. Check this one out. So we have, after having bottomed here in August, we set a lower move high, we set a higher move low, and now we've come into this area where we have downward sloping resistance coming in from the long-term trend, which has been keeping this market down and trending lower. This has been viewed as an upside correction that is being pushed. A lot of it has to do with the price of oil, but because of trade embargoes and a whole bunch of other things and Australia's lockdowns, it doesn't look like this rally is sustainable. I could be wrong. I would be very careful buying into this rally, and as far as selling into it, just use caution. Anything above the 75.58 will have us buffering up above 75.90. Should we cross this threshold, that's where you might get into some trouble. We could see a lot of, I would say, all your weak longs anywhere above this area, you're going to see them scrambling. And you may even have a big wave of fresh buying as you have this market pushing weekly and monthly highs, should it get above here. I'm very leery of it. When you look at what happened on Thursday and Friday, or excuse me, on Friday's trade, we have a short-term sell signal right here. This is a dark cloud cover, high probable Japanese candlestick pattern, which has us at least correcting this market down in the short run down to about somewhere around here to around there. Let's get the Fibonacci off. So somewhere in this little area here is where we're looking for a short-term correction from this sell signal here. Now this is once again a dark cloud. This red top here is a dark cloud cover sell signal, which is a high probable Japanese candlestick pattern. You can find out how to trade this pattern if you read the book High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns, written by myself, available on Amazon.com. So, and should you actually want to get any real information about it, you can go on our website on forex-trading-unlocked.com. From our products and source resources, courses, and services, you hit this high probable Japanese candlestick pattern tab, and it will pull up. We have a short video about the book here, but we also have an access where you can buy it. That would be nice. You can share it. We'd love you to do that, and you can preview it as well. So you can go, if you hit the buy, it'll take you to Amazon.com and give you all kinds of other information as well. So these signals definitely are viable for Forex and for futures, equities, options, you name it. We're highlighting them in the Forex and crypto space today. All right, so Australian dollar, US dollar, we have that short-term sell signal going. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, we have two last Forex currency cross rates. Before we get into those cryptocurrencies, folks, we are definitely going to be talking about those today as well. All right, New Zealand dollar, US dollar. This thing is kind of churning, trying to buffer against resistance. Irony is, the last week and a half, it's coming right into this downward sloping resistance line that's holding the bearish channel intact. Like the Australian dollar, this is running into a similar pattern. This one also had a dark cloud cover sell signal right here. And right now it's kind of like a double topping situation, so we're going to monitor this one. If we can take out the 71.29, then I believe you have a good chance at correcting down to 70.5, 70 even, somewhere in here. We'll see. We're waiting for a breakout. I would key off of the Australian dollar. If you see the Australian dollar starting to really bang support and follow through with that sell signal, I think you'll have a little tandem action with the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. And vice versa. Should the Australian dollar, US dollar all of a sudden pierce resistance and the bulls come back and you see a flurry of buying, watch out being a bear in the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, because odds are you will start to see a follow-through rally to the upside should Australian dollar, US dollar break out. So the New Zealand dollar, US dollar is kind of in tandem with the Australian dollar, US dollar right now. All right, US dollar, Canada, our last Forex cross before we get to the cryptos. All right, still no questions on the LinkedIn. All right, well, that's okay. That is totally fine with us. We'll just keep on going with our... All right, so we have the US dollar Canada here, which has been drifting for the past week. You can see we had a big range day one day last week, and right now we're kind of confined in it. I would key off of support and resistance off of this current low and high. So anything below 122.83, the bears are back in a big way. Above $1.2434, the bulls are back in a big way. So we had this big head and shoulders here. Here's a shoulder, here's a head, here's a shoulder, and then just in case you didn't see, here's the neckline right here. So you can see that this market has already come back down into a good support area. There's a tug of war here with this one, especially with oil. I think that unless if oil is a grind of a trade higher, you're probably going to see this market trade neutral, unless you see a big sell-off in the 30-year Treasury bonds and the 10-year notes and a big sell-off in oil. I don't see US dollar Canada currency cross getting a lot of bullish strength. I think every rally is a rally to sell right now, and I think you're more likely to hit support, especially as oil prices continue to pressure new highs, and especially in the short run, while the 30-year and the 10-year are rallying, meaning rates go down. It's an inverse relationship of bond and interest rate pricing versus the actual what the rate is. So that's with that kind of thing in tandem right now, we have this little tug of war going on with the US dollar Canada. So use caution with this one. All right, BTC USD. Let's talk about Bitcoin here, folks. All right, we had a sell signal a week and a half ago that so far has run its course a little bit. We are looking for a little more follow through this area here from 48,110 basically up to 53,400. This range here, this is our support area that we're looking for a correction to. Overall, we're bullish. We're coming off nice new highs. You can see that we obviously have made a higher move high. We've established a higher move low. The trend is your friend. The trend is bullish. However, if we slip below 56,374, this little line here from this low, then odds are we have a good chance of falling back into this area. We believe that you're going to have a lot of support and buying pressure coming in here. We're not overly bearish, but in the short run, to have a correction down into this area, I think would be good. We'll watch some of the other cryptocurrencies. I like to refer to Bitcoin as kind of like a dollar index market for the crypto space, even though it's not an index. But where Bitcoin goes, it seems a lot of them, especially when Bitcoin goes up, get a big boost. So we'll see how the sell-off is here. I think what you could have is a lot of rotation where we're having divergence now, where you may start to see where you have sell-offs in Bitcoin where I think people are taking profit for one, and also rolling them into other cryptos, and then once Bitcoin gets another rally again, you see a little more profit taking and such and such and such. So I think that is one of the things that you're starting to see and develop here, as you're seeing people roll from one crypto asset into the other as they become very profitable at these. Because I mean, think about it, just for, you know, you have a 1% move in Bitcoin, think of at these levels, think about just getting rid of, you know, I don't know, 1 Bitcoin or half a Bitcoin, whatever, depending on how you have it broken down in value. That would be enough to fund all kinds of other crypto interests. So we'll see how this thing shapes up. Right now, we do have the short-term sell signal that has this market correcting back below, at least down to 53,000. And if we take, like I said, the 56,374, failure from here would confirm new move lows and setting off the correction and confirming that the correction is still intact and that the bears have control of this market. Overall, once again, we are not big time bears for Bitcoin. We are just short term looking for a correction. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum. Oops, ETH-USD. All right, Ethereum, this one here had a little sell signal on Saturday. All right. So, and today you can see the market is slightly lower. This is buffering off of these highs here, so I think you're going to see a little bit jittery of a trade. But remember, the trend is your friend. We've been making higher move highs and higher move lows. Only a failure here from this 3,882 level do we see the market correcting back towards 3,500 to 3,000. For total value, I like this. I think it's a great buy anywhere between 1,700 and 2,250. I have a problem with value above 3,500 though for this, as far as sustainability for the technology. In the long run, I think you definitely have that potential, but in the short run, it's getting too costly, too quick, and it's going to get more. It's going to get harder to use other means on the network and stuff like that because of the costs, which all these things are supposed to help reduce costs and improve efficiency and speed and what have you. All know the mantras. So as far as we have a short-term sell signal, what are we looking for? Like I said, we're not looking for a big correction, but I got a feeling that we could easily come back and test this 3,882 level and come back towards around 3,500, maybe even down to 3,250. I find a lot of value there, and that's an area where I think that a lot of you're going to find a lot more buying pressure should we have a correction down to there. I just think right now we're a little toppy and getting ahead of ourselves for value for Ethereum. I will happen to own it, so I'm happy that it's right below these highs. I'm just saying, use caution, especially if you're looking to buy into it right now. Let's look at Monero US Dollar here. We have Monero, which is positive on the day today. This is in a really good value. I like Monero between basically 180 and 320. Anything above 320, I get a little scary on as far as fair value for it. It's a good technology that I see is not only embraceable and being embraced, but has some longevity in the future. These are all good things as far as which crypto asset to remain a bull on and which ones to hold. So long term, we are a bull on this one. We are looking for this once again to hold its value at the very least over time. So, and we are short-term bullish. It's been making higher move highs and higher move lows. What we're looking at is more a big sideways swing trade, but right now it's running towards the bullish end, so we're looking to buy dips, and we're looking right now for a challenge of resistance. I think you got a good chance of taking out this 298 area. Use caution. I think once you get into this area, this is where you'll see a lot of liquidation and profit taking. So not necessarily selling, but a lot of profit taking. I think the fair value once again here is you run out of gas at 320, especially as you approach $350. However, value is definitely down here in the 180, the 200, 220 area, and anything in between here. I think you have a good scalp, if you will, for range traders to buy dips and sell rallies to take profits and wait for dips to happen again. So that's kind of the scenario I think we're looking at that's going on with the Monero right now. Now let's go to Doge USD. So we got the Doge coin. We had this little pattern here. Once again, if you've read the book, High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns, available on Amazon.com, you would know what this is. This here, see how this rally up here, this green bar, and then we have 3 negative days, and then we have this big rally right here. Well, this is a continuation pattern. So even though we've fallen back and corrected, it looks like this market, as it's coming off a higher move high, it's establishing a higher move low, and there's a good chance that this market is going to make a run back up towards this 32 cents up to challenge this 34 cents area. Am I bullish this market overall? Absolutely not. I just think you have a lot of meme interest, and I think it's more of a pet rock, to be quite honest with you, when it comes to Doge than anything else. However, what is happening is there's a lot of interest in this market. So I don't know if any of you guys are listening and you got Doge. I actually do own some. I'm looking so forward to get back up to 40-some cents so I can liquidate the position that we have. We actually took it as a payment with some other crypto assets, so we got a little bit of it, and we own it all at upper 30s up into 45-cent area from a couple payments. So that's where I'm looking to get out. So I'm not looking for the Dogecoin explosion going to $1 million or anything like that. Once again, I just don't like the sustainability here. I'd be very cautious, but we have a bullish trade going on. So right now, if you're a bull, I think you have a good chance to get back above that, test that 34 up to 35-cent level. If you're looking to take a profit and you're already long from lower, that would be a very good area. Not that we couldn't keep on going up to $1 or more. I'm just saying it's a very good area to look for a place to sell. All right, so we've looked at these cryptos. Let's look at the. We're going to do one last little fly around the world. Okay, so Euro US dollar. On this Sunday evening, we have a slightly positive trade. We are slightly bullish, looking for a little bit of a lift. We're not looking for a major bullish breakout here, but at least while we have the numbers coming out this week, we're looking for a little bit of a rally as we trade into Monday. British pound US dollar, we're looking for this market at most to sell off down into this area here, or we have a good chance of bottoming now and then making a rally depending on oil. So key off of oil for direction, and also the interest rate markets to have a little idea as far as strength for the pound and the US dollar. US dollar Swiss, here's the one that, remember, we are bullish. Since we started this webinar today, this market is up. I have a very big feeling, especially with the oil thing going on and the interest rate stuff going on, that US dollar Swiss here, it's oversold. This is the bottom area. We came into our target zone from our head and shoulders pattern. Now we're in this, found this good support area. Let's see what happens. Aggressive bulls, now is a really good opportunity. For bears, use caution. If you're short this market, I would really be very leery. Only if we fail and take out the low from Friday do I see this market really selling off. Another market, remember, affected by the oil market is this US dollar Japanese yen trade. As you can see, it's gapped up a little higher today. Momentum may be out of control. I don't know. We'll see how things go with the oil market overnight and as we get into Monday morning. But follow that, and definitely if we rally into Wednesday's numbers for the oil market, and should we see the market start to press above 90 and hold above $90 a barrel, approaching 95, look out. I'm telling you, odds are if you are a bear, you are going to be just getting blasted this week. I really do think that 116 even up to 116.5 is very reachable should we get an explosive rally in crude. Only a sell-off in crude would have us correcting down towards this one area that we were looking at before. Australian dollar, US dollar is the other one you got to watch out for. We have the short-term sell signal. We'll see what's going on. It's positive today. It wants to blow this signal apart. They're not all winners, so we'll see what happens. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. We have this one. Remember, key off the Australian dollar for this one to get your sense of direction. We'll see how this one plays out. Oil is also going to be a big problem with this market. And then we have the US dollar Canada. This one's a sleeper and a creeper. If you're short, be careful. Any trading above 124.34 confirms higher move highs and a bullish consensus for the US dollar Canada. And if the oil market is totally rallying, I would be very cautious buying then. That's where I think you could see this market fall apart. If we take out this low here at $1.2283, this would be the area for sure that will confirm bearish momentum will be building as we trade into November and start this new month. That would be coupled with the fact that oil is rallying, and that's probably where you'll see this currency cross really struggle because of the oil interest rate relationship. So Dixie, before we end this thing, remember this. We haven't talked about this one at all. So for all of you that have hung on for this webinar, what did we have here on Friday? I'll tell you what, we had a buy signal in Dixie. This right here is a bullish engulfing line. Once again, you can read about how to trade this in the book High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns. We now have a base for the dollar index. If this index can hold this low here at 93.28 and get some follow through as we start the trading going into Monday and into Tuesday, look out. Dollar strength is here. The currencies that we told you about, those should get those follow through moves. So this is very critical. Watch what's going on here. If the dollar index reverses what happened on Friday and goes back and makes new lows, that would be a very bearish indication for the dollar for the US dollar period. However, if this was just a downside correction, we have a nice buy signal now that has confirmed we want strength. So we had a sell signal that started this whole thing right there. As you can see here, we topped out here on the 12th of October. 13th, we had this bearish engulfing line sell signal, took us down into this little area here. And if you look at this, okay, what is this right here? 50%. And the 0.618 for Fibonacci. So what did we do on Thursday? We came right down on our 50%, found good support. We don't have this market going any lower than this trading range to begin with, right in here. So we barely touched it, and then boom, we have a high probable Japanese candlestick buy pattern. That tells us what? Dollar bulls probably have control starting off the month of November. So if you're fading the dollar, you've been watching this webinar, we're gonna once we close it, you can review it all week long. We'll put it up on the website and everything later on. Really appreciate you guys hanging in. Here is your precursor. Remember these little signals here. This is the stuff to watch out for. So we don't have any questions from any of you. viewers out there. We do appreciate the likes and everything else. And once again, this is the one I want you to really watch. If you want the sleeper creeper of the day and of the week, US dollar yen I think is the biggest one. Even on the hourly, look at how we have this big bullish breakout. So we'll see how this thing ends and how it performs over the course of the week. And it will be an exciting week with all the numbers. So we really appreciate your time today, and make sure you watch this video again and review it during the week and see how things go. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or our Twitch channel, or both. And please, besides subscribing, share it and like it with your friends in your community and on social media. And also, we had all those signals we talked about today, the high probable Japanese candlestick patterns available on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle versions. I'm Teddy Keckstedt with Forex Trading Unlocked. And for all your Forex trading needs, don't forget to go to forex-trading-unlocked.com. We will see you